Hello, in this video I want to talk about one tool that is going to help you in the divorce process with your correspondence and with your healing, with your self-worth. Hello, my name's Elizabeth Goddard from Revive Your Soul. On this channel I talk about divorcing from the emotional abuser and healing from the trauma bonds that are keeping you trapped in that relationship. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back and thank you. Divorcing from the emotional abuser. You might have thought the worst was over, but when you have to detach from the emotional abuser through the divorce process, it starts all over again. And you might believe that you're in a better place. You understand their games and the trickery. You might believe that you know who they are and that you have the knowledge to deal with them. And part of you will do, but they are slippery little suckers and they have built up a bank of knowledge on you and they are going to use it. They know your triggers and they want to play games. I was watching a video where Sam Vankin was talking about the discard stage, and he said to justify themselves and why they made a bad choice in selecting you, they have to devalue you. And this is to preserve their grandiosity. And if you're divorcing an emotional abuser who gains a lot of fuel or supply from these interactions, you're in for a bumpy ride. And this is why it's so crucial that you make sure you divorce from them emotionally first. And being emotionally divorced means that they can no longer hurt you. And it can be really hurtful reading things about yourself that aren't true, or that are manipulative, or that are a distortion of the truth, or that the abuser is actually guilty of. And you might be wanting to scream, am I the only person that can see what's going on? They carefully craft emails and communication to trigger you, to hurt you, to justify to themselves that they were right in devaluing you and discarding you. You are no longer fit for purpose. Emotionally divorcing them means healing the wounds, breaking the trauma bonds that have been created. And it means that when you respond to them, you can do from a different place. And it's helpful when you're responding to them to step back and ask yourself, if this was to go to court or read by somebody else, how would they view it? Step away from your laptop or your phone. Move it to another room if you have to. Find out where that pain is coming from, where that trigger is coming from. And once you've done that, you can then start crafting your response. And it might be that you vent out on a bit of paper exactly how you feel, and then you break it down to just the facts. And then afterwards, check it over. Make sure before you send it or you put a letter in the post, you check your response. And then you can ask yourself, what light does this put me in? I mean, you might not care. There were times I remember thinking, I just don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. I was in so much pain. I just needed someone else to know what was going on. But that doesn't work. Find someone, if you can, who can read over your responses, who's able to remove all the emotion. And remember that your solicitor or your divorce consultant is charging you by the quarter of the hour. So if you're going to speak to them, make sure that emotional charge has gone and you're not using them in the way of a counsellor or a therapist. They do need to understand what is going on and what this is doing to you. But you don't necessarily need to spend hours on the phone to them rambling on about the injustice of it all. And this is why it's important to find someone like a coach or a therapist that can help you heal and deal with these wounds. By making sure you are emotionally divorced, you can see your worth and they can do no more harm to you. And one last tip is to read that letter or email as if someone with fresh eyes is reading it. How would they see the person writing this? Does the pain flow out of your words? Ask yourself, who will this be seen by? Will they see this as you seeking revenge and wonder why, and assume it's for the wrong reasons? If the abuser is portraying you in a poor light, they will read it and think that maybe the abuser is right. By having a gauge, you can stop yourself venting and you can set out the facts. By doing the healing, you can start to acknowledge your self-worth and start asking for what you really want. This is all about responding, not reacting. And you might be looking for justice and karma, but this isn't the place to do it from. It's really crucial that you step back, and before you send your response, ask who this is coming from, who is responding. Is it your damaged inner child? And then read over again and again and ask who's going to be reading this. And if it needed to go to court and be used as a piece of evidence against you, what is somebody else going to think? Strip everything back and take out the emotion. And know how painful it is going through this process, how frustrating it is reading things about yourself that simply aren't true, or how information gets manipulated, or how sections of emails and letters get taken out of context. Make sure you are emotionally healed, and then you can step into your power and step into your true worth. If you'd like to know how to work with me on a one-to-one basis, you can visit my website, reviveyoursoul.co.uk, or you can drop me an email, info@reviveyoursoul.co.uk. And I'm going to drop it in the description box below my Facebook group, The Divorce Sanctuary. It's a supportive, safe place that you can ask questions and regain your power. And I'm also going to put the links to both my books, The A to Z of Emotional Abuse and Finding Lily, in the description box as well. I'm sending you loads and loads and loads of love.